All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. As you know, you signed up for this, so you're at the Tools Automation Talk show. And Tom Alasky, he's come in and helped me out, or we sort of tag team all this. We work on these together. So Tom's in here, and he's going to help me out. We're going to go through the tools and show you what Automation Direct has to offer. Now, some of these tools, we've carried similar tools, I guess ever since I started, so 10 years
like
ago.
The screwdrivers and probably the wire strippers. You know, those automatically go along with panel building and a lot of the different things we do. So I think we've had them on the books for almost ever.
Yeah. Okay. First one, as you can see there, we'll just sort of break into those groups and we'll hit them individually. Screwdrivers. Well, you know, sometimes you say, well, what's there to talk about screwdrivers? A screwdriver is a screwdriver is a screwdriver, right?
Not necessarily. There's some good and some bad different types of screwdrivers, but basically I think we carry 6 different types of screwdrivers, both in Phillips, or what's the other term for a Phillips, a cross, and I call them straight or flat
blades, flat blades, straight blades.
But yeah, the one nice thing about our screwdrivers being red, you know, that kind of signifies a safety device. These are actually, it's not really in the specifications, but if you look at the screwdriver itself, they're actually rated at 1,000 volts.
Right.
Now, as a precaution, typically I wouldn't suggest, you know, even though these are safe and you can use them on a live circuit, I typically, you know, myself, like to work on circuits that not only the power shut off to, but also I've taken a meter to check to make sure the power's off on them.
Right.
I guess in my mind, one of those things is, you know, if I'm using this and I accidentally start working on, you know, some terminations on a live panel and I'm using this, and because it's insulated, I don't cause any sparks or I don't get shocked, you know, I don't feel anything, and all of a sudden my confidence is, you know, well, this circuit must be off, and then all of a sudden I accidentally touch something. So, yeah, if you have to, you know, use them on a live circuit. If you don't, make sure the power's off, and then double check with a meter or something to make sure what you're working on is off.
Okay, well, now we'll get past the safety standards.
Okay.
Just kidding. Yeah, these are nice. They're one-piece molded plastic. This insulation all the way down. I know used to, I didn't have anything this nice. I'd have to wrap my screwdrivers in electrical tape, which, you know, doesn't really boost your confidence there. But
still a good way to do it.
These molded grips, they're cushion grips. They're really, I mean, you can really get a good grip on these.
Yeah, comfort grips.
Comfort grip, yep. These, a little quick story I think I mentioned to you earlier, I'll share. I was on a trip this past spring to Europe, and we were in Italy, and I was walking through this little piazza, and it was, I guess some kind of technician was down in the ground working on some lighting issues, and I just happened to look over, and he had identical screwdrivers.
To these?
That's pretty cool, you know, it's the same screwdrivers he was using there, but it's funny just to see them worldwide.
These are made out of chrome. I can't say this word.
Vanadium?
Vanadium, is that?
That's from Vanadia?
Vanadia, like Canada and Canadians? Okay. Enough of the jokes, right? Okay.
High quality chrome vanadium steel.
Okay.
Now, they're actually really nice screwdrivers. Like we said, you know, 6 sizes and slotted in the Phillips. But we've carried these screwdrivers, not this exact one, the same manufacturer, I believe, and you know, as long as I've been here, and these are actually nicer than what we originally carried. The original ones didn't have the comfort grip. So.
I know the DS1 part number. I mean, both of us use this all the time for all the small screw terminals on, even like the new Click PLC. That's just perfect for the screw terminals on the removable terminal blocks on Click.
All right, next one we're going to get into is wire management, and this is the crimpers. I'm going to let Tom, he's going to be our Vanna White for that one.
Okay.
We've carried crimpers for years, but we've got a whole lineup of crimpers now. And the ones that Tom has here, you can see on the slides and what's in his hand. The ones on the slides probably show up a little bit better. But what's cool is you can buy the crimpers there, and there's 9 different available dies. So you can buy them without the dies. You can buy a kit as shown on the slide that comes with 3 dies. And these dies are for standard, like, what do you call them, you know, butt connectors, you know, standard.
Ring terminals.
Right, ring terminals. Or you can get them for ferrules, or you can get them for some of the communications like RJ45, which is Ethernet, or the RJ12. which looks like a phone jack. But if you're familiar with our PLCs and whatnot, most of our PLCs all have an RJ12 connector for communications. So, and what Tom's got there in his hand, the gray piece is a little protective covers that you can keep them in. You can store the dies in.
Let me pull the die out.
Yeah, there you
actually, the crimper I had in my hand didn't have a die
Right,
in it. But
right.
And actually, what I'm holding here are the RJ12 and the RJ45 type crimps.
Right.
But these are neat because they, if I can figure it out here, they are dovetail, so they can stack up together. And I think I said earlier, if you get tired of the holders, give them to your small children to play with as building blocks.
So they're adult Legos. Yeah, they stack together so you don't lose them. You can keep them all together all nice and
if you want to switch to camera 4, we can quickly show one of the text pages and everything showing all the variety of dies that are available for these crimpers. But as you can see, down here is the RJ12 and 45s, but we can also do the bare metal type.
Right, the non-insulated.
Yep.
That's cool.
So anyway, there you go.
Okay. And we've got some part numbers there, but as you can see, that's what we've got for the crimpers. Now, like I said, we've got a full lineup, so we'll go on to the rest of them. Wire management, we're going to get into cable stripping. Now, I've got this one here. This is a nice tool that I wish I would have had years ago. I actually still don't have one of these personally, but
we'll find a way to get one.
Sorry, camera guy, I'm over here flinging it around, but these are cable strippers, and what this does, basically, if you're familiar with, working with wiring up anything, typically I've always used a razor blade or a knife, sharp pocket knife, and tried to run a line down the outer insulation and strip it back. What this does, it looks like a cigar cutter. I don't think my cigars will fit in there, though. Just stick the wire, run it around a few times, and you don't damage the inner insulations. So you take the outer sheathing or insulation off of it.
The neat part is the depth of cut is adjustable.
Yes, it's got a thumb wheel here for adjustability, so you can adjust it. And as you can see on the slide, we do have extra blades. So once this one, the blade's dull, you don't have to worry about throwing the whole tool away. You can buy new blades. And these are, I think they're $20 and some change.
Yeah.
So definitely worth it. I mean, I can't remember how many times I've sliced through wire and actually cut into the conductors.
You ended up cutting off the end and starting over.
And I'm pretty particular about keeping my stuff just the right length. So once I do that, I'm like, oh, now it's too short. But no, these are great.
What do we have next here? The next subject is the other types of crimps and I'm sorry, not crimps, but wire strippers. We've had these around for a little while. I think they've gone through some.
We've gone through some changes. We've carried strippers at least, like I said, at least 10 years ago, somewhere around there. And they have improved on the design and
black shirt isn't working right.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
We've got nice slides up there as well. Anyway, self-adjusting cut and strip tool. They've got interchangeable blades, as you can see there. They got the red, the blue, and the gray. And Tom will tell about the difference. What's the difference, Tom? Some of them look like diamonds. Some of them are rounded.
Yeah, the one I have in the hand with the more or less the flat blades and everything are to strip just standard wire. I don't know if you can see that here, but you have your depth of strip adjustable. You also have a tension or I guess tension adjustment and everything, so you can set how much. But operation-wise, you push the wire into the stop, adjustable stop. You pull down. There's a pair of jaws there. It's going to hold the wire, and then the cutting blade pull back. And I have a nice clean strip. I didn't take any strands with it. And again, you can adjust how much force the cutting blades are going to go through the insulation. And then down here, I also have, I don't know if you can see that, nice cutter that I can cut off with. But one-hand operation, and I can be stripping through wires and making terminations as fast as I can go.
I always have a story for
Different
everything.
things?
Yeah, those I remember my dad gave me. He was an electrician, and he gave me a pair years ago, and it's a pretty well-known brand, but they're all metal, so they're not insulated at all, which scares me working on any wires. Of course, you're not supposed to work on hot wires, but still, just being around electricity, I don't want to use all metal tools. They were all metal tools, and they had several different grooves depending on your wire size, but they were like 3 different mechanisms that had to work
clap
together.
trap.
Yeah, clap trap, and you had to do it really fast or they wouldn't work because you've got the jaws, you've got the strippers, and then it has to pull. So all these cams, well, if you did it really slow, trying to be precise, one might grab before the other, and it just these are awesome compared to the old stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've talked about those enough.
Let me mention, I think you asked about the replaceable jaw inserts. There's also, I started with the flat blade, but there's 2 other types of inserts available. One, if you notice, it's kind of hard to see in the slide, but it's kind of a diamond shape.
Mm-hmm.
That would be for sheathing or insulation on larger wires. And then there's also a circular type of blade set that is also for sheathing. And again, with the combination of adjusting the tension and everything, you can strip off the insulation without, tearing into, if you're doing shielded wire, you don't tear into the shielding or the braided shield or aluminum foil type shielding.
So those are actually the interchangeable blades, and then you've got replaceable jaws inserts as well. That's the piece that actually grabs hold of the wire. So if you wear those out, you can change those out. You don't have to throw the whole pair in the garbage.
Yep.
So that's nice. We have replaceable parts for everything. All right, wire crimping. Now, we've got several different ones here.
You want to start
with? Go ahead.
The first one on the list, I don't know if you can see this, comes in a nice carrying case. It's the mechanical type crimpers and everything that basically, how can I say, years ago you used to crimp terminals onto a piece of wire with just a die set, but it was up to you to put the amount of force, so you got inconsistent. These force you to follow through to make sure you get consistent crimps on your thing. This set actually comes with the tool with one die set in that works with the common butt terminals and ring terminals and fork terminals. But we also have 4 other sets of dies that'll work with ferrules or larger non-insulated lugs and everything. There's also a little Allen wrench tool that allows you to take the 2 Allen screws out to change the die set out and everything. And there is it's hard to see on this particular model or pair, but there is if you jam them, you can quick release. I'm sorry, the release is out here on the end. And I think over in Shane's kit,
these are similar. They're made by the same manufacturer. These are actually insulated grips on these, but this particular set, this is just the standard ring fork butt terminal type. Let's see if I can get it just right in the light there. Everything is backwards with what we see from what we do. So it's like trying to do this in the mirror. These come in a kit, and in this kit, as you can see here through the kit, it comes with the standard, butt terminals, the red, blue, and yellow. Comes some ring terminals, fork terminals, and what I call bell caps.
Terminals. Yeah, I think we used to call them splice caps at one time, and that's where you stick 2 or 3 wires together, twist them a little bit, slip the cap over, and crimp it, and you're done.
So these come in a whole kit here. They don't come with extra dies, but we were playing with them earlier, and you can interchange these dies with those, even though for some reason these crimpers aren't identical to those. And we also sell I know this isn't part of tools, but these wire crimps and stuff like that, we sell these in individual packs. You don't have to buy this whole set.
I can't remember. We can look it up on there. The customer out there can look it up on the internet, but they're either 25 or 50, maybe 200 per pack. Yeah,
and they're actually pretty nice. I've bought some of the cheaper ones, just in an emergency at the big box store, and they fall apart. Yeah. Now these are nice terminals.
Continuing with the wire crimping and everything are ferrules, and we also sell a
What's
kit.
A ferrule? Feral cat?
Feral cat? No.
No, there was this place called Farrell's, and it used to be at North Lake Mall. It was an ice cream shop. Guys, you ever? The guys behind the cameras are smiling.
I think Shane's the only one that heard of it. Okay.
No, TJ's back there grinning.
Okay, he liked the ice cream there. Good. This guy, if we can see it in the camera, the kit comes with the crimp tool, but also a set of ferrules. And just in general practice and everything, long story short, in my career, when we made connections and everything, we'd strip the wire, and we would always use stranded wire, because in machine tool with vibration and everything, you use solid wire, and you nick the wire after a period of time because of vibration, the wire would break.
Right.
So the policy was always stranded wire. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the devices, including I/O cards and relay cards and everything, the terminals actually had some kind of mechanism or bifold that would, grip the wire. But sometimes, one little strand would come out, and if you weren't careful, it might short out to something.
Right.
And actually, I hated it when poke my finger. But never heard of ferrules until the company I was working with at the time got a piece of equipment from Europe, and it was real popular in Europe to use ferrules. So the ferrule does two things for you. One, in the process of putting the ferrule on, you make sure all the strands are within the barrel on the ferrule. Does that sound right? Barrel on the ferrule. And also, by having all the strands there and having the conductive metal of the ferrule and everything, it makes for a better connection when you get done. So we sell these in kits, and we also sell the ferrules like we do the other ring and butt terminals and fork terminals. We sell them in separate packages, and they're color-coded for different sizes.
Those are nice because, like you said, we used to always have to tin the wires, and you got to lug around the soldering iron, and sometimes that can be messy.
Find a place to plug it in, or
burn myself. I'm real prone to hurting myself. All right, next, cable tie tools. Well, Tom, you can grab the red ones there, and I'll grab the blue ones. So which color's better? Actually,
depends
on
what sizes.
Yeah, as you can see there on the slide, the blue ones I've got here for use with 2.5 to 4.8 millimeter cable ties, zip ties, wire ties, whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure I've ever looked at them and go, what size, metric size are these? But they're pretty easy to tell which ones are which. And these work pretty good because you can actually tighten them really tight around your bundles of wire in case you can't get your fingers down in there. But also the nice thing, Tom's over there breaking our gear.
It's tools. They hold up pretty well.
So we need to do some testing then, right?
Yes.
That would be a good episode. We destroy products.
And test them.
Also, as well as tightening these, is they will actually shear the cable tools off, and Tom's going to demonstrate that. And while he does that, I'll tell you why. One of the reasons is if you've ever worked with cable ties, tie wraps, if you don't cut it completely, clean off, they're pretty sharp. You can cut yourself.
It's like a razor.
We used to sponsor a race car here at Automation Direct, and I got the opportunity in 2000 to travel along and work on that car every race. And we applied our telemetry in the car, and we had to wire up all kinds of sensors and stuff. And the crew chief was very adamant about if he finds any cable ties or wire ties that were not cleanly cut, that he would come after us, because he didn't want himself or the mechanics getting,
sliced
nicked and cut, because they can really hurt, especially when they're trying to cram into tight spaces. And these do a really good job of tightening them up and cutting them clean.
Yeah, I was going to say real quick, this red pair, it's all steel construction. Little C-type clips hold all the shafts on that allow it and everything. And you would think, being out of stamped metal like this, it might be cheaply made, but these are actually very heavy duty and everything. And now I have a tie wrap on my screwdriver, and I have to figure out how to get that off of there later.
Yeah, so the tie wraps, if you didn't know, we sell tie wraps. We sell all kinds of sizes and lengths and colors of tie wraps now. Drill bits, my favorite. Why? Because everybody needs drill bits. If you don't have kits of drill bits, which somehow I ended up with kits and kits. You can buy these in sets, as shown here, and you can also buy them not individually, but in packs, and we'll show you that in a second. But I've got a set here that these are just the standard high-speed steel. Tom's got the titanium nitride coated ones. And
this was my personal set, and somebody borrowed them, and I have to say, unfortunately, they kind of burred out the end, whatever they were doing. I can't get them back in.
I think that was user error due to a faulty drill that was built in the 50s or something. Still had the old key chuck on it. The chuck was wore out. Couldn't grab hold of them.
But you got the job done.
Got
right?
the job done.
And these cut real well, right?
Oh my goodness! We have some more. I'll have another story when we get to the other bits. But anyway, so we got two different size kits here. Or actually, you've got several kits that you can buy, different quantities, and the standard steel or the nitride coated.
I was going to say, besides the high-speed steel, the gold color ones are what?
They're titanium nitride
Right.
coated.
It's hard for me to say, but
Thanks, Tom. All right, and then like I said, you can get them in packs. Now it depends on the sizes here. They come in either 5 or 10 piece packs of drill bits. So it's not economical to sell one drill bit at a time. So you can buy a pack of 5 or 10, depending on the sizes and whatnot here. And to be honest with you, you're buying them from us from Automation Direct. It's probably cheaper to buy a pack of them from us than it is to go buy one bit at
the big box stores.
Yeah, your big box store or your tool store.
Yeah, and these are made where?
Oh yeah, we haven't said that yet. These are made by Ruco, which are made in Germany. And you know how the Germans are. The Germans always make good stuff.
They always make good stuff.
Right?
Yes.
Is that what they say on TV? the infomercials, yeah, they're made by Ruco, so you can look up Ruco. But I've always been told my whole life as I was growing up that Germans always really have good steel. And so their tools, they have good steels. They have good quality steel tools. And
a lot of precision.
Yes, a lot of precision there. Fractional number and letter sizes. And the next, here's where the story comes in.
This is your favorite, right?
This is my story, yep. We're actually missing one of these bits.
What happened to it?
I hope I don't get in trouble for this. It's in my car. Don't worry. I'll return it to our set. But I was running out the door late one day, and I knew I had to stop and go do something, a little side project, and I didn't have my bit in my car, so I grabbed one from in here. And what I've got in my hand here is the titanium nitride coated, which are awesome. What Tom has in his hand there is the standard high-speed steel. I just grabbed a standard high-speed steel, one of these step bits, and I had to drill about 8 holes, and they were some pretty thick steel. And I just sort of pre-drilled a 1/4-inch hole, and then they used these to bump it up to, it was like maybe 7/8 of an inch hole, and I had to do 8 of them. And the standard high-speed steel one, I mean, zipped right through it like it was buttered, didn't smoke, didn't discolor, still looks like brand new. You could never tell I even used the bit. And I've had some before. If you notice, you can get the cheap tool catalogs that they send you in the mail. Yep. And they advertise you can get these for like $7.99 or something like that. Well, I've used those before. The first time you use them, you might as well throw them in the garbage.
Destroyed.
They're destroyed. They're dull. They've discolored. They smoked while you were going through the metal. These were awesome. And like I said, I wasn't even using the titanium nitride coating when I was using the standard high-speed steel, and it just completely blew me away. So we can talk about them because we've actually used them.
Yep.
We use what we sell.
When I used to carry a tool pouch and wire panels and machines and had to go out and troubleshoot and fix stuff and everything, I always had a couple of these in my tool pouch.
In your tool pouch.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, we got sizes 3/16 up to 1 1/8. You can see them. We sell them in sets. So I believe there's 3 different ones in a set, or you can buy them individually. 9 high-speed steel and 9 titanium nitride coated ones. And trust me, they're well worth spending, what we sell them for, which is always cheaper than anywhere else you go, unless you go to one of those cheap tool places, which you might as well just throw them in the garbage the first time you use them. But these things are awesome. I wish I had the whole lineup in my toolkit.
Yep. Let's see. So far we got drill bits that we can drill holes, and we got step bits that don't allow us to drill holes, and, different sizes and larger sizes.
And again, these are made by Ruco, same company.
And also by Ruco, we also carry taps.
Yes.
These are drill taps. There's a lot of panel building and everything to mount your components on your panel. You're going to drill a hole and tap it and use screws. Typically, I remember, it was always 632, 832s, 1024s, and some 1/4-20s that, holding heavier transformers and that kind of components to the panels. But try to make a long story short, these are all high-speed steel. They're 3-fluted.
Right.
In my machining background and everything, we used to carry 2 types of drill taps. One was a 2-flute that we called a gun tap because we'd use it in a hand drill, and being 2-fluted was better, stronger, or whatever, because normally if you're drilling or tapping with a drill, you're not going to get perfect alignment. And then for more precise tapping, the machinist and everything would have a 4-fluted. These are 3-fluted for the most part. I think all of them I've looked at are 3-fluted. But the other nice feature on them that helps tap better and everything is the fact that they're spiraled. Most taps aren't spiraled like these, but if you look down from the business end of it, it is spiraled. That helps cut the threads into the unit. I can't say, I think that's about it.
Yes, not a whole lot. I wish, right now we're only selling these as individually. we don't have, tap and die sets. We don't really have the handles or anything, but
Yeah.
just keep
And
keep your eye out. We always expand all of our lines, especially this year. We've expanded so many parts. I forget, guys back there, y'all remember what we're up to now? I know we're like 1,500, 1,600 parts we've released this year. So if you haven't looked to see what we've came out with this year, you'll be totally blown away. We've taken the chance in this economic decline to just really help our customers out for the one-stop shop and give them the cheapest products that we can possibly come up with that are good, high-quality products, and release 1,600 new parts.
Well, we've drilled holes. We use step drills to make holes. We've tapped the holes, and now we need to make some even bigger holes or special-sized holes, and we need
like
to do
we're
it.
Destroying stuff.
Yeah.
All right, knockout punches. Again, these are made by Ruco, and you can see the different sizes we've got there. I don't know, you can read the slide, but these, actually, I have used these. Tom and I do a lot of stuff for the Learn site. If you've not ever seen our Learn videos, we try to actually put our products to applications and use them. Whereas in here, we just sort of try to talk to you and tell you,
What's out there,
points about them and where to find out more information. But I have a set personally that, they're name brand, and I've picked them up years ago when I started doing some electrical work. And I keep saying years ago, when people look at me, they're like, "You're young." I can fool you. Yeah, I hide it. Anyway, what was nice about these compared to the ones I own is these actually have 3. And I don't know if camera guy,
here.
if you can zoom in on these and actually show, these actually have 3 like blades, or 3 high points in here that are blades. I'll sort of try to rotate it there. It's a little hard to tell.
Usually that's called the break point or whatever when you're cutting through a piece of steel.
Like I said, everything's reversed here, so I'm trying to watch it in a monitor that's backwards. Anyway, used to the ones that I own personally, when you would bust through the steel, it was the remainder was always left inside here, and you really had to dig it out. And they only had 2 of these cutting surfaces, whereas this one has 3, so when it penetrates through, it's a lot less effort. But I also noticed that the remainder of the panel fell out. I didn't have to go digging them out with a screwdriver.
Yep.
So these actually worked really well. Some plus points to that, you can see that you can buy, if you damage your bolt, you can buy a new
replacement. The other plus feature on that, we also sell an optional ball bearing type draw bolt.
Right.
It makes it a little easier if you're using a crescent wrench or maybe a socket head on these, and you got that a lot less effort to pull them through. Should also mention, we were talking earlier, I think for a long time we've always offered knockout punches in a 22 millimeter.
Yes.
And then also a 30, when we came out with 30 millimeter push buttons and operator devices, we offered the 30 millimeter. And now we've gone to the Ruco, so we've expanded that whole line. So now we have all the popular conduit sizes that you might need.
Right, right. So we have the full line up there. I don't know what else to say about them. Try them out.
Yeah.
30-day money-back guarantee on everything that we sell. Try them out.
Yep.
If you don't like it, send it back. I guarantee they'll like it, though. I mean, the Ruco stuff has really impressed me. I wish that I had some in my toolkit years ago.
Yep.
Well, we're almost to the end here, which we figured this would go pretty quick anyway. But we have to talk about it. We have to show you everything that we sell and what we try to support.
I was going to say, if basically everything we've covered so far, you could place in. Actually, if you go online to our catalog, you could place it in 2 categories, and one would be tools, wiring, crimping, and the other one would be tools, hole cutting. Mm-hmm. And so far, I think we've covered that, and maybe I guess the other category would be the tools to use for the cable ties to cinch them and cut them.
Right.
I'm not sure where that would fall in, part of the
wire management.
But also, we also sell a tool that typically isn't listed under tools, but
looks like a turkey baster.
Yeah, or a thermometer or something. But basically, in the wire duct area and in accessories, these are used to fasten the wire duct to your panel. We offer them in 2 sizes, 4 millimeter, meaning the hole you're going to drill is 4 millimeter, and then also a 5.5 millimeter. But along with the tools, actually we sell the rivets, and the tools you need to install the rivets. And actually, you don't have to have the tool to install the rivet. You can.
No, but it makes life a lot easier if you've got the right tool for the job. I'd never seen, I've seen these rivets. I work on cars on the side just playing with stuff, and I've seen these holding interiors and fender wells and stuff like that together, similar. And they've used them in auto industry for years, but I'd never used them on wire tray. We always had to use self-tapping screws, or we had to drill and tap. And we started selling these, and I'm like, why didn't I use these, or why didn't I find these years ago when I was building panels? Because one of the benefits, this is a non-metallic attachment, right? And trust me, it's going to hold tight. Tom and I, like I said, we put to use everything that we sell here. So we were in the Learn Lab one day, and we were trying these out, and they work great. But the benefit is you're using a non-metallic attachment and something that's going to be carrying voltage, where we used to use self-tapping screws. They usually had a hex head on them, so it's a rough surface, but usually you're not going to have any problems. But in the case that you had a machine that had a lot of vibration or something like that, your wires could be just rubbing on that screw and eventually maybe short out. Yeah. Right. Yeah. These actually they cut or not cut, but once you press them all the way through, they're nice and flush, but they're plastics. You don't have to worry about them rubbing your insulation off your wires.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, they're. I mean, you don't have to use them for just the wire duct. You could use them to fasten other devices and
wire
accessories
and stuff like that. Yeah,
onto your panel.
They work great, and I mean they cost just pennies.
Yep.
But yeah, try if you haven't used them, take a look at them. Again, 30-day money back guarantee. So try them out. If you don't like them, send them back. Okay, that does round out all the tools that we've got. Now, Tom, I'm going to tell you to go ahead, and while I'm looking at questions, somebody's asking, pull up just the terminals, buying the terminals individually.
By themselves?
Yeah.
Okay.
And while I talk about the Q&A, Tom's going to look that up real quick. But Q&A, we're going to stop. We're going to take questions from our audience. We've already had a couple questions roll in, but if you have any questions for us, please go through and take a look at those. Guys behind the camera are like doing something which
that scares me.
We got it, whatever it is. I'm sure we got it. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, I'm on the ring terminals, but besides the ring terminals, we also offer the fork terminals, the butt and end terminals, and the insulated ferrules, and the tools that go along with that. But that covers all the screwdrivers and everything we've covered so far. Is there anything particular?
Yeah, the customer was just I mean, we'd mentioned it, but we didn't go to the website. It's the customer's asking you, can you order just the separate terminals that we were showing in these kits. So yeah, there's Tom showing they got the terminals.
Yeah, this like the small red ring terminal, 100 per pack for $4.
That's you
go
to the big box store,
yeah,
$4 for 5 of them.
Yeah.
$1 a piece or something. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm sorry I brought up this page, but they must be awful popular because we're out of stock on a lot of them. But
actually, with the economy, of course, everybody's trying to not stock anything. We're trying to stock stuff. Yeah, that's highly unusual that we don't have stuff in stock. Usually, we're really good at keeping stuff in stock. I forget we advertise what our shipping accuracy and whatnot. If you order something, it's like 99.9998% or something like that. But yeah, we usually have everything in stock. But some hot items, every once in a while somebody will get a big job and wipe us out, but don't worry, we'll get them back in stock really quick. Here's another question, Tom. I don't know if you can find that on the site, but it says, do the terminals of ferrules come in some voltage ratings?
Voltage rating? Let's see, we're on there now.
Usually it's just sizes. I'm not sure. I'm sure they spec the voltage ratings. I'm not sure if you can go to the PDFs or...
Let's see if we've got that down here.
I like the graphic there. That's really nice. The graphics
shown as red.
Yeah. I don't know if you go to the PDF specs. If we got time for that, while Tom's doing that, we'll see if anybody else has any other questions. If you have any questions, ask. We love questions. Tom and I were joking earlier when we were sort of practicing this that in the future we might try to see if we can come up with a couple more of these nice crimpers or something like that, or some of these tools, and do a little contest during the session with Q&A, and whoever the winner is, we'll send out some free tools. So ask questions. We love them. Nothing in there yet?
No, I'm not seeing it.
I know we've got specs on there. Tom probably just doesn't have it pulled up yet.
I don't have the right one up here. I mean, I have the temperature rating.
That's all right. We do have all the specs, and if not, you can always call Tech, and they'll get you.
We have the customer's email
Yeah, don't worry.
address, so
We'll get that directly to you. That's the only questions we have right now, so we're going to go ahead and move forward because we figured that we could wrap this up early, but it looks like
we're still on.
We have rambled on about tools for 35 minutes now.
Okay.
Just kidding. All right, poll time. If you're new with us today, then I'm going to tell you about it. If you're not, and if you've been here before, which I see a couple of the people in there that have been here before, you know that we give away free gifts for taking our poll. I'm going to send a link at the end of the session to everybody that showed up today, and that link will send you to, it's to a website, and there's 4 questions on there. And basically, it's going to take you longer to fill out your email address. Please give me your correct email address so I can email you if you're a winner. Please tell me who you are so I know your name.
And address. You
don't have to tell that.
Okay.
Not on the poll.
Not on the
I
poll.
just want name and your email address.
Gotcha.
It's going to take you longer to do that than it'll take you the 20 seconds to answer 4 simple questions. After you answer those 4 simple questions, I'll take everybody that filled the poll out, put it in a hat, my palm, and I'll walk over to Tom's office, and he gets to pull those names out. And we'll pick a winner, and the winner will receive a USB pen drive. I've only got a couple of these left. They're such hot items. I've actually gotten down to the end, and we'll have to find something else to replace these with. But yeah, pen drives, everybody loves these, and everybody's surprised when they win one of these after taking the poll. So surprise yourself, fill the poll out, take you about 20 seconds, and let us know how we're doing, and this better helps us to understand
what we need to do.
Yep. I think we do ramble sometimes. All right. Well, this is the end. I think we have maybe one more slide. So I'm going to get the engineers to go ahead and start the ending music. But anyway, don't forget, we've got a couple little links there. It's basically the Automation Talk. Sign up for other seminars. We'll post another new one here soon. We have a new product we released last week. Take a look out there and sign up for it. Huge new product. Biggest product we've ever released that I know of in our history. We're just trying to slowly get it out there and see how people are liking it. But take a look. Learn.AutomationDirect.com. It's our tutorial videos that Tom and I do, so take a look there. Tom has been hard at work coming up with scripts, and we have a list just, to fill that thing up. We've got a lot of videos to put out there, so we'll be filling those up. Questions, comments can be sent to me at live@AutomationDirect.com. So if you got anything, just go ahead and feel free to email me. Well, yep, that is the end. So I want to thank everybody for coming in today, and thanks, Tom, for coming in and helping me out. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome, Shane. Glad to be here.
Hard job today.
Isn't it? Tough job here.
Tough job. We love our job. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Have a great day.